Now this video has been very highly requested by you guys in the comments of my videos, and pretty much this video is going to be a tutorial on how I make my modded helmets on the F1 games. Hopefully this video is informative to you guys, and again I want to make a few things clear. I've not done these videos before, so hopefully I can make these straightforward and they're not too complicated. I want to mention really quickly as well, I might do some more of these if you guys enjoy these and you find them informative, and they do pretty well as well in terms of performance. I might do how I also do car liveries as well, but for this one we're going to do the helmets, because for years now people have been asking me, how do you make the helmets, can you show me how to do them, can you make a tutorial? So I thought, you know what, it's the right time to do so. I want to mention really quickly though guys, a few things that are really important. Modding is only available and can only be done on the PC platform. So if you're on PlayStation or Xbox, you cannot do mods. I want to make that clear from the get-go. And also for this video, and also for you guys to be able to do this, you're going to need two programs. You're going to need Photoshop and Ego ERP Archiver. I'll leave links down below guys in the description to the stuff you will need across this video, and hopefully with all of that out of the way we can jump into it. But first of all guys, one last plug I want to get out of the way. If you're going to enjoy the video guys and find it informative, like and share it with your friends and people who might know who could do with this video. And also I'm close to 50,000 subs guys, so any help would be appreciated. So if you could hit the red subscribe button underneath the video, it would massively help me out, and I'd thank you so much for it. But with that said, let's get this video underway. Okay, so the first thing you're going to have to do guys is go to the link in the description, and it's going to be a link to a race department thread, and in that you're going to have this mod right here, which is a 3D model for the helmet. This is to use in Photoshop, which you're going to need to kind of make the helmet and see as you're making progress how things look. So it's really important you guys have this tool. Like I said before, make sure you've got Photoshop installed and also Ego ERP Archiver, because that will come later on in the video. And generally, if you guys want to see other mods on F1 games, you don't have to look at just this one. You know, the race department thread has loads and loads of mods, millions of pages of mods, so check it out guys, because you might see some stuff in there you might like. But with that said, make sure you download this mod and install it, and then open it up on Photoshop. Okay, so once the file is downloaded, we're going to open it up and get that loaded into Photoshop. So you go through the folders and open up the PSD. And once you have the helmet loaded into Photoshop, you can see here with just adjusting the light, you can adjust these little things here to change the lighting so that you can see it better or worse. The helmet's loaded up, and you need to have good visibility on one side, because that's important. You can always adjust the lighting so that it can always work for you. But basically you've got 4 layers on the right hand side. You've got visor, helmet, visor attachments and wing. Each one of these, if you float over the top, it gives you an indication of what it is. The visor, we can't do nothing with that unfortunately this year, so there's no point working with it. The helmet is the main area, so we'll work on that soon. You can see the wireframe in the background. Visor attachments is this thing at the front here. So just above the visor, it's like an additional part of helmet work, or piece, I don't to call it, but it's like a bit of body work on the front of the helmet, which you have to work on separately. And then the wing is at the back here, so within this little box you can see this little aerodynamic wing. That's also a separate layer you have to work on afterwards. So here we have the helmet, and this is the main helmet layer. Now I do recommend a few things first, and that is keeping a few parts of this. So you want to keep everything that's in the top left up here, everything that's in the middle in this section here, top right, the visor, and below this black strip, everything at the bottom of the screen here. You want to keep those, because those little things are your little buttons here on the side of the helmet. Down here it's your helmet strap and also the hands connection device. So I recommend holding on to those because they're valuable, and it's going to help to add to the detail of the helmet. So once we have this, we can now open up our own one and we can start importing parts. In my case, you guys obviously, if you're starting from scratch, keep those parts. Make the helmet black, so you literally just go to the levels tab, make it black. You can remove the wireframe if you want to, and you're going to have a black helmet. And this is when you can start to create. So for example, you enable the wireframe to give yourself a guide. You can start adding on some lines, for example. You get the paint bucket, you fill it in like that, and you're going to get some blue lines, as you can see here on the helmet. So you've already got a bit of a design going on, and you just start painting, designing, and you can spend hours on this. You know, you start experimenting, finding things that look good, look worse, and yeah, it's all, the world is your oyster basically, and you can decide whatever you want. So take your time, enjoy it, try and be creative. I'm now going to load up my helmet, which is the AlphaTauri helmet I use in my driver career mode, and we're going to see how I made it. Okay, so the helmet has been loaded on, and I've just quickly disabled all the layers so you can't see them. Now, there is a way of working on the helmet. Now, a few tips I want to give you guys first and foremost. Work on one side first. Once you get that side done and it's perfect, you can literally just copy it and paste it to the other side. So I do recommend just working on one side first. It gets the job done a lot quicker, and the copy and paste method is quite effective. So that's tip number one, I would say, for this. Tip number two, start with the paint and the design first, and then add the sponsors afterwards. So let's jump into it. First of all, let's enable the bits I asked you guys to keep. So at the bottom here, you can see I've got that as a separate layer, which is quite helpful and effective. And then also at the top as well, I've got the rest. So if we disable the wireframe really quickly, you'll see here, that's going to update. And I've got, as you can see, the hands device. I've got a bit of black paint going on there as well. My own version, the way I painted it. You've got the little buttons on the helmet here, the strap, and also the little breathing vents at the front. So that's on, which is important because it's all about the details, you know, with us F1 fans. So we're now going to work on the paint. So first of all, we're going to enable the color layer, which is electric blue. My channel, of course, those colors, and that's straight away going to give the helmet a big boost in color. Really, really good. I love it. I think it's such a sick color, to be honest, and I think it looks really, really nice, and it pops a lot, which is great. So that's on there. We're now going to enable some more, and this time it's the design. So we've got this design. I'm just going to quickly show you guys what it looks like. You can see here, I made sure it was perfect and looks good on one side, because once you've got it good on one side, all you got to do is copy it to the other one. So you literally, if you want a tutorial how to do it, you right click, duplicate, you click OK, and then once you have the secondary, you go to the edit button, transform, horizontal, flip, and you just literally drag that over to the other side, and then you've got the other side completed. So you can see here we've got the same design, both sides, and that completes the kind of top, which is really, really good. I've already got the layer made, so I'm just going to quickly delete that real quick. So we enabled that, and then also on the front as well, I've got a front design where the mouth is, kind of thing, and there's a bit of a gap here at the bottom. We'll get into that shortly, but leaving enough space for a sponsor here, of course, as well. So you've got to bear that in mind when you design things. You've got to leave space for sponsors. And yeah, generally speaking, that's the main design of the helmet. So we've got a nice aggressive kind of spiked design, if you will, up top and down the bottom. One last thing remains, and this is just a particular thing to me. I don't like how this line at the bottom looks. I think it's too sharp. You know, this down here, the edge of the helmet, I think it looks too aggressive. And you can see here from this angle down here, so it kind of goes flat, then up, then sharply down, then flat again. I don't really like it, so I've made my own version. So I've got a blue and layer going on, so you could leave it like that, to be fair, and it would look pretty, you know, pretty nice, to be fair. But I don't like how thick the blue is and how thin the black is, so I just added on an extra layer of black, and it just helps bring the helmet together, I think. And you've got a nice little blue strip, and I think it makes the helmet look a bit sleeker, slightly slimmer as well, and a bit more aggressive. So that now covers that awkward gap at the front, and that's going to be your paint and also design pretty much done, at least in my case. We're now going to move into sponsors, of course, and sponsors are a key part of the helmet. Where you place them, how they look is really, really important. It can make or break a helmet. So first of all, Arai, which is the make of the helmet. This is the 3D model that it's based off. So for example, if you guys wanted to also maybe cheat and copy one of your favorite drivers' helmets, you can do that by going into the Ego ERP Archiver program. So let's go into that real quick. So you open up the program. I've got Sebastian Vettel's helmet here. What you've got to do is, first of all, you open up the program. You go to settings, you go to the game directory, and you go to set directory. You then locate your F1 2020 game. So in my case, it's going to be in lots of storage boy, which is my hard drive. You go to program files 86. You go to Steam. You go to Steam apps, common F1 2020, and you click on the bottom right, select folder. You then click open, and that's going to take you to the F1 2020 main page here, and you go to asset groups, you go to character package, drivers, mail, and then you've got all the drivers here, F2 and F1, and you've got to go for drivers who have an Arai helmet. So off the top of my head, Sebastian Vettel has one, and Pierre Gasly has one, for example. So let's go for Seb. You're going to click Sebastian Vettel ERP or helmet, whichever one you want. They're both the same. Sebastian Vettel ERP. You then look for Sebastian Vettel helmet _D, and you can see it's got an Arai helmet here. You can see the stickers in the bottom. So you could perfectly click textures, export, and you could drag this out. So I'll do that as an example right now. So you decide where you want to export it to, save it, and then you go into Photoshop, you click open, you look for where the file is, which is Sebastian Vettel helmet here, you click OK, you can literally drag that across, pop it in there. You're going to have to maybe resize it if you need to. It's not going to look the best, it might lose some quality. I know a little trick for that, but I'll explain that later on. And quickly update that, and there you go. You've got Seb's helmet. So if you wanted to cheat, you could easily, you know, have another driver's helmet if you want to, and then take little bits from each driver and kind of make it your own. So anyway, let's get rid of Seb's helmet for now. Go back to mine. So the base design is done, and like I said, we're now going to add on sponsors. So Arai is on there. We're now going to throw on some AlphaTauri logos on each side. We're going to add on the AlphaTauri text at the bottom as well. We've got the AlphaTauri text on both sides. We've then got the AlphaTauri logo at the top center here, the lighter blue version at the bottom, which is why we made the space in the first place, so that we could fill that with a sponsor. And then we've got my logo at the top of the helmet, along with a few more designs. So we've got the number 7 on the back of the helmet. We've got the number 9 on the back of the helmet as well. We've then got Body and Mind, which is of course an AlphaTauri sponsor. Now with these logos, that is going to complete the front and side. So if we quickly go over to the helmet now, that's going to update everything, hopefully. So we've got the 2 front logos, of course, looking pretty decent, very, very clean. We've then got the AlphaTauri text on the side along with the logo, and we've got it on the other side as well. Again, you just copy and paste it to the other side. It's very, very simple. Just make sure you work on one side, get it done. Obviously, in terms of the front, you've got to work on the front by itself, because you can't copy and paste to another front, if that makes sense. You've only got 2 sides and 1 front. So yeah, looking pretty good. It's not perfect. Like, for example, the T is a bit too much to one side. You could spend a while adjusting this, because you can't just copy and paste the AlphaTauri text. What you've got to do is, let me show an example. If we go to where I've saved the AlphaTauri text file, you go to it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So we just select this area, drag that across to the helmet, and it's going to be straight like this. And you can't just, if you do Control T, you can do the free transform. It's not going to work. If I quickly hide the previous version, let me see if I can find that real quick. There we go. So if I hide that, if we drag that across, you can see it doesn't look right. It's not spot on. So you need to work on it. Edit, transform, warp, and this is going to give the ability to make this look pretty interesting. So you can drag this across and twist it, turn it however you like. And to give an example, we got to the point where we had this one. So again, I tweaked it so that you can get it how you want it, but again, you can adjust it however your helmet is, however you want it to look. If you want it to look a bit funky, so for example, if we did this, it's going to look pretty interesting. So you can see it kind of does like that. Lots of ways you can go about it, but I had to tweak it. You could do letter by letter. It would take a long time though, but you can do letter by letter if you want to get it absolutely perfect and get every single one spot on. But I'm not too bothered, even if it's not perfect. So for example, you can see this side's actually a lot better than this one. This one's a bit slanted, but it's okay. To the naked eye, you don't really notice it, and it looks pretty clean, so it doesn't bother me too much. So there we go. The front and the sides are finished. We're now going to add on some more sponsors to the back and also the top of the helmet. So first of all, the top of the helmet, we're going to add on my logo. So again, you do it on one side, and then make sure you do the other one. Make sure they're straight and aligned in the right place. We're then going to throw on some more. So we've got the number 7 here on the back of the helmet, which is on, this is the back right side. And then we've got the number 9 on the back left side. So if we now look at the updated version, we've got my logo on top, half and half. And then you can't quite see this because of the light. Let me quickly adjust that real quick. So you can see there on the back, we've got the 9 and the 7. You can see the line where it splits at the end. So the edges here on either side. So bear that in mind in terms of making the number. Don't go out of the line, otherwise it's going to cut off and look a bit awkward. So there we go. We've got that one done. We're now going to move on to some more. We're going to throw on Body and Mind, which is going to be the kind of the tagline for AlphaTauri, and then we're going to add on the AlphaTauri sponsor. So this is going to be on the back of the helmet, and this is why we left this little gap here. So I could have, and originally I was thinking of joining this design, so this bit here, joining it up with the other side once I copied it across. But I thought to myself, you know what, actually I might try this instead, and it actually turned out okay. The A is slightly cut off, but it doesn't bother me too much. You know, like you don't really see it from here, so Again, it depends how how much of a perfectionist you want to be. In this case, it doesn't bother me too much. So yeah, we now move on to the final ones, and we've got the Veloce Esports logos, and as you see, I've put them both just underneath the AlphaTauri logos down here. So kind of discreet, subtle, but of course they are my esports team, so I had to get them in there, of course. And there is the main design of the helmet. Design, color, also sponsors, making sure everything fits well. And you can go lots of different ways about this, but this is my helmet design, and I think it looks pretty damn clean and pretty damn sleek. But now, of course, you've got those two awkward bits. You've got the visor attachment and the wing sections, and this is where modding a helmet can take a while, because you need to spend a bit of time making sure you get the lines right, it all connects and joins up perfectly. So let's open up these layers and let's see what they look like. So we're on the helmet, we're going to go over to the visor attachment, so double left click on that one, and also the wing as well, double left click, and we've got these two awkward parts which we need to work with. So again, you can do a lot of things with these. I'm going to open up my own versions of this. So we've got wing, visor attachment, open both of those. Right, so this is my visor attachment. I'm going to quickly literally just drag this across just to save time and make it very, very simple. Drag it, put it into place in between the lines. So as you can see, we've now got the visor loaded onto the helmet, and it looks really, really clean. Again, we've got the red stripe because the Honda drivers, or the Honda Power Unit drivers, are mandated to have the red stripe. So both AlphaTauri drivers have that. We've got the Veloce logos on each side. We've added on some black on the edges in the background to kind of give a bit more of a separation and separate the Veloce from the Honda logo. So just quickly over here, you can see we've got it pretty much within the confines. You could go really precise down to the millimeter, like I'm a little bit out of the lines, for example, here. It's up to you how perfect you want to be with it, but generally speaking, you won't notice the little nooks and crannies too much. And yeah, this is the visor I'm running on my helmet. So just to run you through the layers real quick, let's break it down. So this is the original version. First of all, you throw some paint on, and you'll see here now that's going to give you just a blue visor section. That's it. It's just a blue visor, and then it's up to you in terms of what you do to it. So in my case, I added on, first of all, the red strip, which is going to be the Honda colors, of course. So straight away, you've got some big color separation there. We then throw on the black details again. First of all, paint and design, and then the sponsors are after. So you can see we've first of all gone for the design of the visor. Then we add on our logos. So we've got the Veloce, and Honda, and that's going to give you the updated and final version. You could do something on this top part as well, add something on there if you wanted to. I don't feel the need to. I think it looks fine as it is, and it doesn't bother me that much. So yeah, there we go. There is that part of the helmet done. We then move on to the wing, and again, this is the version in game. We're going to change that. So I've got my own version here. I've actually opened up the wrong file actually, so let me quickly get the correct one, which is this one here, I believe. There we go. Right, so we're going to drag this across. Let's make sure we select all the files. Of course, you guys can make it, but I'm just doing this to save time, so we're going to run you through it one more time. So you've got the original version. First of all, you want to go in with your base. So I've got a black base because there's some edges as well you want to kind of clear up. The blue to start off with. So as you can see on the 3D model, if we go back to it again, you've got the blue to start off with, but you need to do all this so you can see how out of place it is. You've got, this is the most awkward part of the helmet, I think, and the part I hate the most, because you've got up in here, if I change the light real quick to see if you can get better visibility, you've got this blue stripe here. Let me see if I can get some, there we go. You've got this little dark blue stripe which you need to continue underneath. Then you've got this little stripe here as well, which you need to carry across. You've then got the AlphaTauri logo. So there's a lot going on. It's quite complex. It does take a while. We're now going to add on the dark blue, so it took me a while, but I got it in the end. Again, work on one side. Once one side is perfect, you literally copy and paste it onto the other one. So I got it on this side first, and then I just cut it down the middle, paste it on the other side, and then you're going to get the updated version. So you can see the stripe goes through, the AlphaTauri logo goes through, and also at the top of the helmet underneath you can see here as well. And now we've got a much more seamless, design that goes all the way across and looks better. Also at the top of the helmet, we've gone for the dark blue at the top here. So again, I think it adds to the design, it makes it look really, really slick. And then we've got some details, personal details that I like to run. So I've got the Antoine Hubert and Jules Bianchi tributes on this one. Let's quickly enable those so you can see at the top of the helmet. And then optional, if I were to win a championship, I've got my stars in place. They are in black, but again, you can change the color. So if I quickly select these, we're going to change these right now in terms of color, and we're going to go for the light blue. So the day I win a championship, those will be on the helmet, and you can see that's how it looks. So you've got the JB17, the Antoine Hubert 19, and the 3 stars, and that would give you pretty much the final design. So that brings it all together along with the front of the helmet, and that's going to give you the full design, which I think looks really, really slick. I love the colors, the color combinations. Doesn't necessarily look the best with the AlphaTauri car, but as a helmet alone, stands out, looks very unique, and looks very, very clean. And I'm a big fan of it. So guys, get creative. You know, do your own version, see what you can come up with. Again, you can export helmets from different drivers to kind of copy things from each one and take inspiration from. Just make sure they've all got the Arai helmets. Again, making it very clear, this type of helmet, Arai, you'll see it once you open up the file, like this one here. You can see Sebastian's got it down here at the bottom of the helmet. So bear that in mind, and download logos when you're making a helmet for whatever team you're driving for. Make sure the logos are high resolution, nice and crisp, and you're going to get a really nice looking helmet at the end of it. But guys, hopefully this tutorial was helpful and informative. There's one last thing though I want to show you before we finish, because it's very important, and that is how you save everything, because this is a key part of the helmet. So first of all, you want to save each individual element. So here we have the helmet, which is the first part we did. You want to go to File, you want to save. You want to do 2 saves here. First of all, you want to do a PSD, because the PSD is your backup, so you can always go back to this and edit that file. So you want to save a PSD, and we're going to save it to the desktop. You can call it, you know, helmet, whatever you want to call it, and you want to make sure it's a PSD. So save that. That's now done. That's saved. You then want to save another version, and this one is going to be, this one is called Intel Texture Works DDS. Now this is a plugin for Photoshop. I'll leave it linked down below in the description, guys, again for you guys to go download it. Install the plugin, and once you've installed it, you want to save this version of the helmet as well. You want to make sure it's color BC1 4BB sRGB DX10 Plus. Bit of a mouthful, but you want to make sure it's that. And also bitmaps are on auto generate, and you click OK, let it save. It takes a couple of seconds, and there we go, that is saved. You want to do the exact same thing with the wing and also the visor attachment. So with every single part of the helmet, you want to save them exactly the same. So you want to do 2 saves for each part, PSD and DDS with the Intel Texture Works, and with the exact settings I just showed you, and that will give you the correct saves. Once that is all done, the helmet is finished and you've completed the design, you want to install it into the game. So you open the file, you want to go and locate the FOM 70th anniversary helmet, and I'll tell you where it is. So you go F1 2020, you go asset groups, you then go to character package, team livery, you scroll down a little bit, it's in alphabetical order, you go to FOM01, and you've got 3 files here. You've got to go through each one and do the exact same thing. So first of all, FOM01.erp, you open that up, and you're going to have, first of all, helmet D, I believe. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Or in this case, actually, I think there's only... Okay, there we go. So we've got helmet D. In this case, I have my team helmet saved here, which is, you know, there's no difference. You can do it on other helmets as well. I've got my team helmet saved here. So once you've got this, you go to textures, you go to import, and you go to the helmet. And in this case, it's saved to our desktop. You've got this file here, the DDS. You can see the PSD doesn't appear because you can't install PSDs. This is why you need the DDS file. You click open and you save, and it's going to install the helmet correctly. I'm not going to do it because it's going to ruin everything on my game. It's going to mess it all up. But basically, that's how you do it. You do the exact same thing for the wing. So again, you install it here, pretty straightforward. And then the visor attachments as well, you do the same thing. And that's going to give you all the files installed into one place. Once you're finished and that is all done, you're going to go to File, Save, and then you're going to literally just save as, overwrite the save. And you've got to do the exact same thing with the other 2 files. So the gloves.erp, you've got the helmet, you've got the wing, you've got the visor attachments, import, save, overwrite, And the same again, FOM helmet, same thing again. So you go to helmet, wing, visor attachments, save it all and overwrite it. So once that's done, you boot up the game and your helmet should be in there. So hopefully, guys, that was okay. I don't think tutorials are my thing. They're not the best, but I tried to do the best I could in this video. I'm now losing my voice a little bit, but hopefully you found the video informative. And like I said, I do think, I get a lot of comments, and I do think this is the best way to do it. But again, you guys can be creative, come up with your own designs. I'd love to see what you guys can make. So by all means, tweet me your designs at Tom97HD on Twitter. But guys, if you enjoyed the video and found it informative, drop me a like and subscribe if you are new, guys, for more tutorials, tips and tricks. If you want me to do another one with the actual car livery, let me know. And on screen right now, guys, you've got a couple of videos which I'd like you to check out. So if you haven't seen them, guys, give them a watch. And yeah, that is it from me here today. I'm now going to take a bit of a drink and relax because my throat and voice are gone. And I'll see you guys in my next video very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.